Thank you, obviously, for the opportunities, and I just want to clarify, Bu Prita, that I'm not a father of anything, but for sure, Ibu Prita, please give her a round of applause, is the mother of public relations, has been ever since that we all look up to. And also, Pak Hermawan, obviously, it's my guru, my mentor. He's been, we know him since way back in Goodyear time. I mean, the Goodyear tire brand, bukan Goodyear, as a Goodyear company, has been helping me also in the marketings, and at least what I remember him is about the STPs, segmentasi, targeting, positioning, which is always stuck as a PR practitioner, also as a marketing practitioner back then. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is me. I'm kebetulan as chairman of public relations. I was gantiin Bu Prita waktu itu. And I'm also the director of corporate affairs for Apple Group. Most of you probably doesn't know what Apple is, karena sekarang sudah bulan Oktober kali sekarang ya. So you were like, what the hell is Apple? Apple is Asia Pacific Rayon, Asia Pacific Resource International Limited. We're the one who's producing Paper One, and I hope most of you here are using Paper One for your thesis eventually, so you'll be my customers. This is my contact and everything else. Eventually, what we're doing is to change the perceptions about, that's the outcome of public relations is all about. Can you go through? So it's not only the output, the likes, the share, but how we can change the perceptions of others. So Creativitas is basically to find a solution to a problem. Like Dani, misalnya Gojek, founder of Gojek, he can find a consistent Gojek driver to help him to get to the office. And then he find, why don't I create a system? Namanya is Gojek applications. Or could be, well, before I go into that, but basically in a nutshell, advertising saying you're good, public relation is someone else saying that you're good. That's the mantra these days. So people said, what is the difference between advertising and public relation, Gung? That's basically it, in a nutshell. And Bill Gates, the richest man in the world, even said that if I was down to my last dollar, I would spend it on public relations, which is a good thing. If the richest man in the world saying that he'll spend it on public relations, I guess it should be helping us. So, welcome to change. One of the Greek philosophers once said the only things that is constant in life is change. Business has changed. I mentioned it to you that Hermawan just said earlier on that millennial makan tidak mau loyal anymore. They got promoted in their office in Japan. They just said, no, I'm just going to stick with my own thing. Even cita-cita, what they want to be in life, also has been changed. Seorang anak di Riau saying, what do you want to be? Waktu he asked by the president, Jokowi, he said, well, Mr. President, I want to be a YouTuber. I'm no longer want to be engineer, doctor, and everything else. So even profession has been changed. The world, as you said, Uber, Facebook, Alibaba, Airbnb, is all coming from the creative side of the business. Uber, for instance, or Facebook, we don't provide, who doesn't have a content? Facebook, that we fulfill the content for the Facebook. Alibaba, another way, Airbnb, the guy who the founder said that he's trying to go to San Francisco or California, if I'm not mistaken. He can't find a hotel, so he rented somebody else's room. Just how it started. He can't find the room in California for his conference, and then he find the Airbnb started, including the YouTube. So people was gathered around, like few of us around here, want to share our video from holiday. And they find it quite difficult back then to share the videos between one another. That's how YouTube started. So creativity from one way to the other, I think, is to find solution to a problem. It's simple. But these days, information is overload. Informasi sudah begitu banyak. Every single day, according to US, we'll be exposed to more than 30,000 advertising messages. From you wake up in the morning until you sleep at night. 30,000 advertising messages. And according to one of the survey, it says that in 2016, content in Google is as much as 70 more plus point of billion contents, meaning about 300,000 stories per day that you'll be exposed to. Malah katanya di Facebook, ada 10 million photos per hour. So while I'm talking to you right here, you try to update your status. You try to update your photo status. Thus, to get the attention is becoming difficult these days for public relation practitioner to get the attention of your customers. So, next, the media also has changed. Warren Buffett, it says, takes 20 years to build a reputation back then, but now it's one tweet to ruin it. The media context has been changed. Fake news from Donald Trump's, the soccer player thingy, even you could, that headline, Ratna Sarumpait pernah paksa putrinya, hal ini saat masih SMP, you could imagine everything else, but basically Ratna suruh putrinya untuk belajar teater. But the headline is so bombastic. The same as masih pacaran ternyata Yunisara dan Ciko Hakim sudah berani melakukan ini. You can imagine whatever you want, but basically they just open warung di Kemang. So it's not as wild as we can possibly think. So that's what happened to the media these days. Next, even this, Liverpool 2-0 lawan Newcastle. Abercrombie tops straight 4 quarters forecast. The scary thing about these two articles is all correct. It all makes sense, but it's the robot who's writing it. It's artificial intelligence writing the story for you. So it's no longer us, public relation practitioner. I was in Banda Aceh last week. The PR practitioner di sana nanyain, Pak Agung, is it possible then PR will be replaced by robot or artificial intelligence back then? We'll discuss. So the challenges ahead for us in the creative world is the media landscape has changed. Media looking for clickbaits, speed, mereka nggak perlu verifikasi lagi, they just upload your story like that. Artificial intelligence and robot, content overload dengan tsunami of content, I mentioned it to you in Google and the Facebook and everything else, hard to get attention from everyone, and everything is on the record. Whatever on the Google is going to be believed to be, it's true. So that's the challenges. And the customer, readers, will read based on Google, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Line, WhatsApp, and Twitter. Whatever says positive in there, that is the truth. That's to get attention and challenges for us these days. So how to get people recommend you and your brand in the age of like these days. So what should we do now as a public relation practitioner? Well, we're going to discuss that in Convention National Humas di Desember nanti, how to be the Humas 4.0, the challenges ahead. So I would encourage you, I will ask you to participate as well, to share what will be like to become a PR practitioner in the age of PR 4.0. But let me give you a insight. One is there is no box. People used to say, Gung, let's think outside the box. In this age and years, don't think outside the box. Or think like there is no box. Public relations becoming borderless these days. You have to find their creativities outside. Look at this. Richard Branson understands the media. He doesn't get many interesting photos. This is how he come up with the headline. With a tank, waktu dia luncurin videonya, video music store-nya in New York, he bring a tank in New York downtown. Arrive in spacesuit for a press conference for Virgin Galactic. Or pose as a Zulu warrior to celebrate flight of Virgin to South Africa. Or this, be the first. Remember Felix? Jump out of space dengan brandnya Red Bull. Think outside the box. No box these days. Secondly, PR in this age, you have to be a storyteller. I tell here, creativity in PR is about engaging a story which has a heart and surface higher purpose. So we have to be the storyteller of today, imaginer of tomorrow, and biographer for the products and brands of our companies. So remember Al's biker challenge in here? Why it's so famous? Early on in 2012, they just gathered about 2.8 million. By the end, this campaign is over, they have 100 million. It's a storytelling about ALS, Lou Gehrig disease, basically. So it's emotional, it's logical, celebrity endorsement, and simplicity and shareability. Storytelling. Also this, McDonald's, M, karena ini Women's International Day, they split the M menjadi W. Storytelling. including this, Game of Thrones, winter is coming. It's difficult to get the attention of the world that this is a quite challenges this day on the financial terms, obviously, and the president gave the analogy, Game of Thrones. We have to be a storyteller. Thirdly is solving problems. Creativity harus solving problems, communicating ideas. For instance, when KFC is out of chicken, which is quite strange, karena KFC itu jualannya chicken. Waktu di UK habis chickennya ya, they have to apologize to the publicly and making this FCK. It's funny, unique, but probably it's only useful untuk UK market sih. Kalau di Indonesia mungkin udah di demo kali ya. But tapi untuk the UK market, it's quite humorous and people will understand the KFC situation. And these days, it's difficult to get the attention of people. Kita ngobrol, one sit one another, doesn't get discussion and everything else over coffee, and Nescafe come up with this concept. So there is a problem, and Nescafe is giving a solution to it. People is quite distant between one another, but over coffee, closing the gap. So it has to be, creativitas has to be solving the issues and the problems with your brand attached to it. So next, it has to be digital content is king. So the new word, the new mantra for us in public relations is PESO. It's paid, earn, share, and own. I'm not gonna go through in more detail, but this is the complexity that we have to go through. Everyone has to know what is SEO is, what is SEM, what is AdWords, what is how to produce a content in YouTube. Basically, in a nutshell, public relations in this age, it has to be becoming publisher and producer. It has changed. Not only the media relation like the old days we used to know. So next, we all has to have continuous learning. Karena kreativitas in PR itu is always changing. 1.0, as Pak Hermawan said, 2.0, 3.0, is now is 4.0. Eventually, it's going to be 4.0. So it's always changing, and you have to keep up. It's continuous learning. And the key to it is read. Read, read, and read. Tadi Pak Hermawan sharing about his book, mau nggak mau ya juga saya harus beli buku saya. Hashtag tetap jualan ya Bu Prita ya. So you have to read basically and write about base study and case study out there. Lastly, you can't stand alone. Public relation, despite as Pak Hermawan said that we can't define it as part of marketing, we can't define it as part of advertising, it has to be integrated. It has to be collaborate. Karena dalam waktu discuss kita nanti, it's a teamwork. PR campaign itu need more people around the table. You need sales people, you need videographer, designer, content, marketing, brand, and product. It's changed the landscape. So as PR practitioner, we have to know all of those things. You can't stand alone. And PR becoming the glue of those integrated marketing comms. Thank you.